Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're discussing Serenial, the very first limited banner character in Chaos Zero Nightmare. Let me tell you, this character is absolutely awesome. Let's dive right into the video. As our first limited unit, the devs clearly poured a lot of love into her kit. Compared to characters like Yuki or Haru, Serenial feels like a complete package with almost no negatives right out of the box. Yuki needs heavy deck drawers to activate her inspiration. Haru hits like a truck, but is AP hungry and requires constant generation. Chizuru has the inhibit restraint, which is powerful but limiting. Serenial, however, has no such drawbacks. If an enemy has a tenacity bar below their HP, she goes into demon time and destroys them. No questions asked. Now let's talk about her main cards, Homing Laser variants and Cobalt Light. More specifically, Homing Laser. This card is the main card, and Cobalt Light will be its best supporting card when you are in a situation to ravage enemies. Her main gameplay revolves around Afterglow, her unique passive. This is accessible through Homing Laser and Homing Laser L, where Homing Laser L consumes this Afterglow to deal damage while at the same time producing an Afterglow. Pulse Fire and Magnetic Field. Removing Magnetic Field is a no-brainer. Depending on your save data tier, you can also remove one or both copies of Pulse Fire, though keeping one is often the most cost-efficient move. Now, for one of her main cards, Homing Laser. These are the Epiphany versions, each having its own unique playstyle, among which this is my favorite card as this gives a chunk of Afterglow, which is her main mechanic. The next two options will be these two variants. The left one has the Destroy tag, which deals one additional hit on enemies when ravaging them using this card. This is better for damage dealing, but you might have noticed there are no Afterglow stacks that can be gained through this. The right one has the ability to move all Homing Laser L cards in the graveyard to the hand. This can be a game-changing card. Paired along with the Afterglow stacks, this card scales crazy as the game goes on. These two are my least favorites. The one-cost card is due to this card having a cost, but if you can get yourself a copy with a cost reduction Divine Epiphany, go for it, as this creates two more Homing Laser L cards. But don't forget, this loses the ability to return to the hand on Ravage. The final variant of this card only grants a single Afterglow, but has the ability to come back to the hand at the start of each turn, giving a guaranteed source of damage and Afterglow. Next will be Plasma Missile. These are the Epiphany variants. The best variant is this card, which not only boosts the damage of your Homing Laser, but also applies Instinct weakness for 2 turns, which makes her deal a great chunk of damage even against elemental matchups that don't have Instinct. The next best card will be this variant, which creates 3 Homing Lasers in your draw pile. You may need draw cards to get to them, but having them available is more important than the final variants. The upgrade variant deals guaranteed damage at the end of every turn and increases the damage of Homing Laser. It seems to be bugged at the moment. Currently, it only works for the normal Homing Laser, even though it should be working on both Homing Laser and Homing Laser L. Once it gets patched, you can definitely pick this up for dealing a great amount of damage. Next, this variant helps you in ravaging the enemy, as it can hit 2 times, dealing 1 tenacity damage on each hit. Finally, this variant deals damage based on the enemy's tenacity bar, dealing massive damage when used specifically on a ravaged enemy. Next will be Shining Core. These are the Epiphany variants. The best variant of this card is this one, having unique and initiation tags. This creates 2 Homing Laser L cards which, on Ravage, create an extra 2 Homing Laser L cards. The next one will be this variant, which is a direct improvement on the normal card. Among the 3 other variants, the variant on the right extends the exhaust of homing Laser L by 2, which makes the card available in play for a longer time. The middle one is an X-Cost card which creates homing Laser L with a haste tag, which does not decrease the enemy turn meter. The left one has the ability to grant an extra Epiphany. It can help you stack 2 Epiphanies on your homing laser. Next will be Cobalt Light. The variants are where the main build revolves around. You can select this based on your previous Epiphanies or what you like to build with her. This variant has reduced card cost and pairs well with homing laser to deal devastating damage to enemies. While this variant can deal a huge chunk of damage with a weakness tag, which makes it universal superiority over any element. Other variants are the card on the right being the best way to create homing lasers in an AoE situation, which is good if, for some reason, you avoid picking the laser creation in other cards, like avoiding those vegetables during breakfast. The other 2 are fairly simple, this one costing less while used on Ravaged enemies, but this, when paired along with some only barrel to boost the retained value, can dish out greater damage than any other variant of this card. Finally, this card is her signature card that deals damage and activates 3 more homing lasers of any variant, either from the draw pile or graveyard. By the way, those list was made considering her as a standalone character. There might be some variants in the lower order that work much better when positioned in a synergistic team comp. Peko. She is tailor-made for Serenial because she significantly boosts the damage of attack cards when they move from the graveyard to the hand. She also shreds Ravaged enemies, and her active skill grants a 25% crit chance, which, by the way, currently seems to be broken and lasts the whole fight instead of just 1 turn. For my Battle Pass users, Serenial is your go-to. Her passive grants universal crit and crit damage boosts, and her active inflicts vulnerable to set up Serenial's big hits. For free-to-play Yuri, her passive gives an attack increase and damage increase on the first shuffle, along with an active skill that is Pot of Greed, which means I draw 2 cards. Carroty, her passive increases the damage of attack cards for a turn when generating cards. Her Ego skill also increases the damage of cards generated after its usage for a turn. Now for teammates. Serenial can be paired with any unit, but some may make her feel illegal. She pairs well with Karen, Malin, Orlia, Veronica, Kalip, Haru, Nia, Beryl, and much more. She can be best with Chizuru as she, even with Inhibit, can still allow gaining AP through Ravage. And as for the illegal teammate, it's Selena, as she has a card that can regenerate the tenacity of the enemy. This can help you ravage them multiple times, looping your lasers over and over. Now, coming up to the banners and pull value. If you are struggling to choose between Serenial or Peko, as both are limited time banners, I would recommend picking up Serenial first. Compared to Peko, even though she can bring a significant boost to your current units, Serenial is just a complete package with no dupes needed whatsoever. Now, as for memory fragment sets, go with the new Judgment Flames set along with a crit or attack 2 set, as this new set gives 50% increased instinct damage on Ravaged enemies. Or you can also go with the basic instinct set with a 2 set of either crit or attack. Or you can just do 2 sets across the board. Try to get to 60 crit rate to make use of this potential. For final thoughts, this character was really amazing. Not broken, but yeah, how could someone say anything is broken when she is in the game? The character is really good, makes chaos farming much easier, and shreds through opponents like butter. If you haven't picked her up, she seems to be a solid unit. There will be nothing wrong with picking her up, as we will be getting further FOMO-inducing characters, but they started with a rather good one. That's all for the video. If you love the content, consider dropping a like and a sub if possible. It would be highly motivating for me. Thank you. See you guys soon.